Hi guys, welcome back to another reaction video and thoughts here on Our Eyes Your Eyes. I'm ready to watch episode 16 of Vinland Saga season 2. But before starting this video, I just want to remind you, as always, to keep subscribing to the channel, click on the notification bell, leave a like to support me, and feel free to join me in this amazing story called Vinland Saga. Okay, in the previous episode we saw that Gardar and Arnheid got free from all these, and Hebi, I mean Snake, is trying to find them because really soon Ketil will be back. So let's see what's going to happen today. Are you ready to join me with these? Check it out. They wanted to find them. I mean, Anar wants to find her. No, but they escaped together. That's what you don't know. That's his instinct to talking now. I think he will be shocked when he will see that she's not there. But she's there! What? So she let him escape, but she decided what to do with her life. What the F? I didn't expect that. Oh no, is this miracle dead? No way, so Arnheid decided to keep the baby and to stay with the Ketil. And of course she was there. Uh, huh? But do all the other know this? Also because she's pregnant. Mm-hmm. She let him go. Uh, you don't even imagine how scary is a Hebi now. Mm-hmm. She can trust them, that's really, really important. Where did you hide him? Sverkel helped her. That's why Sverkel closes his eyes now. And we know why Sverkel did that, I mean. She doesn't want to involve you. Mm. Because, okay. Mm. But then she saw him so different. Mm. Especially when he said sorry to her and the fact that he had done something wrong. But Thorfinn understands her completely. I mean, yeah. Einar, I feel you, but I know you will do the right thing once again. He's going to help them. Yeah, I agree with this. Yes. No, Einar, I love you so much. Because otherwise they will kill him. Yeah. You're in good hands, Arnheid. Oh, yes, he will join for sure. But how can they do that now? Maybe with the help of a Sverkel, that's the only way. Don't tell me that Sverkel died. Because he did this good action and then he died. I think I have the feeling that Snake understands that there's something wrong. Because in the previous episodes, she cooked inside. I mean, I understand why he wants to do that, but. Ah, okay, he's alive. Well said. Yeah. No. It has to do something with you. Hmm. Right. Okay, yo, finally we can understand. He thinks exactly like a Thorfinn now. That's a nice heritage, Snake. Think about it. Yes. Yes. Ah, no, that's Einar. No, that's not Gardar. No, no, no. It's Einar pretending to be him. So in the meantime, they go away, and Arnheid can be free. Oh, there was an invasion of dragonflies. Okay. Okay, but now Einar has to run pretty fast. Go, 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 go. Run as fast as you can. Oh. Go, 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 fast, be fast. Ah, he doesn't care anymore, I mean. uh, yeah, because. But he can die even in his land as he wanted. No, no, do it. Exactly. Uh, Einar, hang in there, keep going. Come on, don't you think a little bit? They don't even understand that it's impossible that Gardar can run like that. I mean, come on, Thorfinn, be faster, please. He was under the bed. Don't waste the time. But go ahead, Thorfinn. We don't have enough time. See, I was thinking the same. But I was surprised of the fact that they didn't realize that. But Einar doesn't have the skills of fighting. I mean, he goes back. Oh no 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 no! Thorfinn, Thorfinn, move now! No 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 no! Go fast 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 fast! Go! I'm afraid that they will be caught for real. He's there. Oh no 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 no! Oh no 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 no! Look behind you, Thorfinn! No 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 no! Oh no! Uh, what do we do now? And now because he left the horse behind. Now, how we confront the snake? Remember the last time that they confronted each other? What's going to happen now? I'm not ready. Oh no! He doesn't use violence, so he will be like he's a shield. No, Kotowaru. Again. Yeah, the other two. But no, no, no. No. No, don't be tricked by that, Thorfinn. Without a sword. Don't be tricked by these words. No. You promised yourself, so no. Keep the promise. Keep the promise, Thorfinn. No, but he didn't want to attack him. Yes, he didn't want to attack him when he punched it like that. Well, that sword makes a sound. But Sperkel can't ride the cart in the meantime, no, huh? Oh no, I feel the tension. Thorfinn, don't. Don't. Yes! Use your mind, not your body. Focus, yes, think. Ooh, without a sword. It's like as if he's using a sword. Two swords. Ah, yes! Yes! But he's not using them. Think as if you have them. Okay, guys, another great episode finished. Wow, especially the last part of it was something crazy. But okay, let's analyze everything as always. First of all, yes, I thought that Gardar escaped with Arnheid somehow. But that's not what happened. So when I saw Arnheid coming out from the house, as always, I was like, I mean, I was thinking so many things. Like, for example, I was thinking that Arnheid killed him, or Arnheid let him escape, or Arnheid confessed to him that she was pregnant and he refused to stay with her, so she had to go back. But at the end of the day, she saved him and he didn't escape anywhere because he was under Sverkel's bed. So once again we have to thank Sverkel for this, not only because he had the ability to woke her up in the previous episode, but also because he created a shelter for him. From the previous episode, we understood why Sverkel did all he did, and once more, we understand why he wanted to help Arnheid by hiding her husband under his bed. That was a nice choice, and I totally agree with what he did because of his previous guilt. When we heard in the previous episode that he forced the Kettle to abandon his previous girlfriend, and the result was that when he came back to that village, she was killed. So he doesn't want to let the things behind once again and to not care about them. So the fact that he helped Arnheid was pretty nice. He knows that he will die, so he's not scared of dying anymore. And instead of dying by knowing that he committed the same mistake again, he prefers to die by doing the right things. So I really liked what happened here, definitely. And I really liked even the fact that Arnheid trusted Thorfinn and Anar. Because Anar, as I told you in the previous episode, he feels hopeless right now because he made some projects about his future life, and that future life involved even Arnheid somehow, even if for him it was just a dream. But he was starting thinking, how would it be if Arnheid would have been freed too, etc., etc. But now more than ever, Einar is confronting reality, and he's facing it, he's accepting it, and he understands that Arnheid loves her husband still. He understood also that she doesn't want to get rid of him for real, no matter the fact that she's pregnant. So yeah, in the previous episode, while I was telling you about that scene we see about Harnheid, and she's surrounded by that light, and we know that she's thinking about her child because she's touching her tummy. Yeah, at that time I was thinking something else. I thought that she wanted to protect that baby because, of course, in her previous experience, she lost a child. And she was even ready to sacrifice that child by escaping with her husband, no matter the risks, no matter what happened before with her first child. But then, yeah, I noticed in this episode that she wanted to keep the baby and to let that baby be safe, so that's why she came back. And she preferred not to escape together with her husband, also because her husband was injured and she didn't know how to carry him, of course. Not only because he is really heavy, but also because she's pregnant and she can't do such a heavy movements or something. So she wants to keep the baby, but at the same time she wants to take care of her husband. And yeah, as soon as Anar understands the circumstances, she is trusting them so much that she's opening her heart completely. I really like the fact that, yeah, she can trust them and they are there for her. This was really amazing, especially Anar, because we know the affection that he feels for her. But yeah, by giving her that advice that he said, that means, look, now it will be difficult from now on because you're pregnant, but you also love your husband. I mean, the way in which Arnheid disclosed her feelings in front of them, she was able to cry, she was able to be desperate, and she knew that they would have never judged her. And she could have been her own self in front of them instead of pretending being something else or instead of acting a role. I really liked these feelings that were spreading naturally speaking, and as if she was exploding and all these feelings were coming out through crying. That was pretty human, even in that case. I really want to say that Anar and Thorfinn are like her bodyguards now. The fact that they are helping her makes you understand that, especially from the Thorfinn's side, you see how human he became, how empathic he became, and at the same time he is worried because he wants to try to find a way to not let anyone be killed. That's his purpose, and that's a great purpose as for the title of the episode. I think that the part of the evolution of Thorfinn is still not 100%. We are reaching it, because we are 90%, I guess. But with this episode, he confirmed to himself that he can make it. Not only because he doesn't want to use violence, but the way in which he could rest his mind and think more, that was really awesome. And it's totally different from the instinctive thoughts that he could have had like in the past. Like Anar was having at the beginning of this episode when he kept running desperately to try to reach Arnheid and see if she's safe, if she's alive. Even if Anar didn't have a plan in his mind, but the only thing that he was thinking was to run. Anar was stopped by Thorfinn, and Thorfinn is saying, please Anar, think, you're rushing things, you're doing things without thinking. Yeah, now Thorfinn plays the role of the person who had been too instinctive in his life, and he understood that by being instinctive you can't think properly, and the price to pay in order to be too instinctive is to lose someone or to lose yourself or to do reckless things. So that's the thing that they should all avoid. Um, but I liked even the plan they made in order to help Arnheid and her husband. That was a pretty reasonable, because Thorfinn knows how to be strategic somehow, how to create these kind of plans in order to escape or in order to protect someone. In the case of Thorfinn, he protected himself for 11 years. So he knew all the way of doing these kind of things. Anar didn't know these kind of things, but at the same time he preferred to join Thorfinn, because even in this case, Einar trusts Thorfinn so much, and that's the beauty of these relationship. As many times as I told you, when you trust a person, you are ready to feel free to say, okay, I follow you no matter what. I trust you, so there's no way that you will create something wrong and whatever, especially after the awakening Thorfinn had in episode 9. We know that now things are totally different. The plan that was created was nice because, as I told you, Einar resembles somehow Arnheid's husband because of his hair. So when I saw him in the middle of the trees, I was like, okay, that's Einar. It could have not been, of course, Garner. And at that time, I didn't even know where he was hiding. I mean, I heard from Arnheid that he was hiding over there, but we didn't know where until it was disclosed as a secret place. Yeah, when I saw Einar going, I was thinking that Thorfinn was handling the rest. Talking for a second about the snake, yeah, when he's talking to Sverkel, Sverkel notices that the sword is strange. I mean, that sword is not the usual sword that other Vikings are using or other warriors are using. So I want to know more about Snake. I wanted to see if really soon we will be able to have a background story, as I told you in the previous episode, because it's quite interesting. We don't understand where does he come from and what happened to his family and how he was behaving when he was younger, etc., etc. So that will be probably the chance to reach even his story. I can't wait for that. But at the same time, we know what Sverkel told him. That means all these people working for us, they are slaves because they were unlucky. And not because they chose to be born as slaves, but because they became based on the circumstances. And I totally agree with these. Because Sverkel, thanks to his previous experiences, knows that when you make the wrong choice or when you put in front of a choice to make, you in that moment decide to be lucky or unlucky. And that's what happened to him or to Ketil too. They decided to escape and sacrifice that woman, and that woman was killed, right? That woman was unlucky to be there in that moment when she was killed. As much as for what happened to Arnheid in her previous experience in Sweden when she was left behind and the Vikings came and they conquered that land. She survived, but many other women were killed. But when she survived, she became a slave. And in that case, she became a slave because she was unlucky to be there in that moment when they appeared. So what Sverkel said is, why are we treating people differently? Is it because of the fact that we deserve these? I mean, we deserve to treat them inferiorly based on some certain reasons or not? In the case, what Sverkel says is completely true. That means we treat other people inferiorly because of a matter of luck, and not because we are superior than them for real, because things could have been inverted. I mean, we could have been slaves of someone else, and actually they don't know what's going to happen because they don't know that even Knuto wants that land. So once Knuto will be able to approach Ketil's farm, we definitely know that they will become slaves of Knut, because they will not be able to own that land as before anymore. So things turn upside down. And actually, it's said that what goes around comes around, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So what Sverkel is saying, it's just anticipating, without the snake even knowing this, what's going to happen soon. This connects with what Askeladd even said. That means there's an end for everything. Someone might be so powerful at the beginning, but then we are going to reach the end of that power, and you can't refrain these from happening, because as much as there's a beginning, there's also an end. For sure, now Snake doesn't pay attention on Sverkel's words, and in fact he doesn't care. That's the prototype of the common person. I mean, that's exactly how we also behave. We don't listen, we don't pay attention when we should pay attention. And later, when it's too late, we remind ourselves, oh, at that time Sverkel was saying this. But as I told you, when a snake will remember this, it will be too late. A snake represents the instinctive man, or the man who doesn't care at all, and he doesn't even listen, while he should listen instead. That's what I was feeling while watching this episode. Most of the times we are rushing too much things, even when it's not necessary, or we are too stubborn to keep believing that our thoughts are good, while the suggestions that we receive from others are not good. I think that the problem of human beings is exactly this: the fact that they don't listen. And at the end of this episode, you see the contrary thing, because while Thorfinn has never listened to Askeladd's words, in this episode, it's manifested the will of Thorfinn to listen to what Askeladd is telling him, as this appearance that appears behind him, and he's even touching his shoulder to remind him certain sentences, so he can't be tricked this time. I mean, I feel that even if Thorfinn is put in front of a temptation, and Askeladd is the perfect character for this. I mean, he clearly represented throughout the season 1 a mere temptation, or a goal to be reached. In this case, now that Thorfinn awoke, he sees things differently. And this time when Askeladd was telling him, did you wake up? Because the problem of Thorfinn was always this. It was hard for Thorfinn to realize things. It was hard for Thorfinn to understand certain things. Some things that were hidden because Thorfinn didn't understand how to manage those things, because he was completely blurred out by revenge. Thorfinn at that time didn't even think about another plan, another way of doing the same things, but in a different way. That's why he needed to wake up. That's why Askeladd was disappointed by Thorfinn in season 1, because he was not waking up and realizing simple things that were clearly in front of his eyes, but he was not paying the good attention on those. So when we see these fighting between Snake and Thorfinn, at the beginning I was scared that Thorfinn couldn't keep his promise, the promise that he made to himself at the end of episode 9. And I was scared that he was going to react, because what Askeladd is saying is, oh look, you can use violence because now you are protecting a person. That's exactly what happened at the end of episode 8, when Thorfinn is punching that person, that retainer, in order to protect Anar. I mean, in order to let Anar not experience violence, he wanted to punch that man instead because he already knows how it is, and he didn't want Anar to join the club of violence. But what happens here is that Aşerado is saying, oh, look, man, you're protecting Arnheid, you're protecting Gardar, you're protecting Sverkel, so even if you punch him, it's fine. Because there's the good reason to do so. That's just an excuse. I mean, to say that you are going to use violence to protect others because that's a good reason to do so, it sounds pathetic. It sounds ridiculous if you think about it, because anyway, you're using violence, and later that violence you have used will not be remembered because of the way in which you rescued those people. You will just break that promise, so you can't be loyal to yourself anymore. You can't rely on yourself anymore. And that's why I am so happy that Thorfinn didn't listen to that temptation, didn't want to believe that that was the right thing to do, even if he found himself hopeless because he didn't know what to do in order to prevent anything from happening. But as soon as Askeladd is telling him, didn't you wake up? I mean, didn't you open your eyes? That's exactly the same thing that he was saying even in episode 9. He was saying, open your eyes and climb, Thorfinn, climb. And what he's doing later is exactly what I was expecting to see. That means a warrior without swords. Because that was exactly what Thorfinn needed to reach. The promise, the inner promise that he also made to his dad, to use your thoughts, to use your mind instead of acting irrationally speaking, and to fight, but to fight with no swords. And the way, the position that he is making, as if he is using those two knives that he usually had, but they are not there. So now I'm really curious to see how he's going to react, how he's going to fight the snake without the swords. And all these makes you understand that when you have your thoughts, I mean, when you use mind, you can be so powerful. Thorfinn matured enough to reach a status of knowledge about how to detect his opponent's moves, that he doesn't require to have swords with himself. And I wanted to see the strategy he's going to use. I wanted to see how he will talk to Snake. I wanted to see the way in which he will react to all these. At first, when he was punching Snake, I thought, no, he punched like that because he knew that he would have not touched him, just to understand what to do, or just to let the snake understand that he can fight in the case he has to, but he didn't want to punch a snake for real. It was just a way to show Snake that he can attack if he really wants. But he doesn't want even to touch his face to get in touch with the snake's body. There's no need. After Askeladd's representation arrived, Thorfinn had a sort of double awakening because he was struggling so much to find an answer that when I saw Askeladd touching his shoulder, first of all, it was pretty emotional, and second of all, it's exactly what I'm expecting because of all the things that I told you so far. I mean, I have always told you that Askeladd's presence was not meaningless, that it's also thanks to Askeladd that Thorfinn could wake up and to see that Thor's is not there, but Askeladd is there, touching his shoulder, makes you understand how relevant this character still is and how important to Thorfinn he is. We would have never expected this in season 1. I mean, to see that Thorfinn is still thinking about Askeladd, because that's just a reflection of his thoughts. And that temptation comes not from outside, it comes from inside. So that representation of Askeladd comes out because of Thorfinn's mind, and not because this temptation wants to come from outside to trick Thorfinn. That's just a battle between himself and himself. There's no other trying to trick him, someone real, someone that really is alive and is punching a Thorfinn, or is torturing a Thorfinn, or is threatening a Thorfinn, or whatever. No, this is a battle between the two of himself, and this battle will keep going on for the rest of his life. And that's the real battle that Thor's meant when he was talking about what a real warrior should be. He has to fight his own fight, and in order to fight his own fight, the only way to do so is to confront his demons all the times and be able to overcome those demons one after the other one, so those temptations are not taken into consideration. That's exactly what Thor did in his life too, I guess. Because when he decided to stop fighting, as soon as he saw Floki coming to pick him up, at the beginning he refused, but at the end he wanted to go. And at the same time, when Thor died, he was confronting an entire squad of pirates, of Vikings at that time, in order to protect others. He punched all these people, but the good thing was that Thor didn't kill anyone. If you remember, even Askeladd was amazed by hearing that the Thor at that time didn't even kill anyone, but he was just punching them in order to defeat them in that specific moment. So I think that Thorfinn can take inspiration from that too, and that's exactly what he will do now. He will not kill Snake, he doesn't even have the intention to kill him, but he has to defend himself. That's the only thing that he will do. And by doing this, he will also protect who's behind him. This first trial of fighting without swords and fighting against himself and these demons who are trying to tempt him, that's exactly what Thorfinn needs in order to move forward. That's the proof that we need now. That's exactly what Thorfinn needs in order to know if he can keep the promise or not. And in order to do so, we need a fight. We need a context in which he can confront himself in order to do so. So I think that's the perfect occasion. Everything was done perfectly in this episode. Both at the beginning and at the end are pretty meaningful, and I think that when we see the end of the episode, we understand that we can trust Thorfinn for real this time. There's no way that he will go back to his words and he will do the opposite. No. Maybe in the next episode we are going to see this confrontation between one side of his personality and the other side of his personality. And the fact that, Askeladd is still relevant even in this season 2 makes me understand that for Thorfinn he will never be forgotten. And on the other side, that what Thorfinn needs is his help, and it's a paradox because that was supposed to be his enemy. But now that he is gone, he can't be his enemy anymore. And even for Thorfinn, years went on. So there's no way that now Askeladd can be an enemy. Askeladd can be an ally in these because of all the ways in which Askeladd can fight, and thanks to all the memories that Thorfinn has about how Askeladd fought, about how Askeladd told him certain things. So yeah, that's the perfect ally. So can we transform our demons into something good? I mean, can we not feel scared of those demons, but let them be able to become allies instead? That's exactly what I expect from Thorfinn. He doesn't have to be tempted by those kind of things, but he has to process them and to move forward. That's the hardest part. By the way, as much as I was telling you previously, I think that Snake has lots of things to say. And even when Sverkel was talking to him and saying, look, I leave you my land, you can cultivate that land that was so precious to me, and at the same time, you put your sword down. Yeah, the sword is like the crown, okay? That's just a materialistic thing. That's just a thing made of matter and a form, but it makes you become heartless somehow. I liked when Swerkel was saying, get rid of that sword if that sword makes you do what you're doing. Because Snake is a slave of that sword, as much as Knuto is that slave of that crown, as much as the Vikings are a slave of fighting. I mean, are we able to detect what are we slave of and get rid of those kind of things? That's the hugest part. I mean, that's the most important thing, to detect it, to get rid of it, to be able to get rid of it, because it's not simple. Yeah, that's exactly what Thorfinn did. He was a slave of that revenge, but now he is getting rid of that revenge. So if Thorfinn can do this, even a Snake can. I think it's just difficult at the beginning, because you don't think it's possible to get rid of something you have always been enslaved of, right? But as soon as you try, you will see that it's possible. You see that it's not so difficult. It's just your mind that it's tricking you, making you believing that it's difficult. But nothing is difficult if you think that you can. And for Snake now it's so difficult because he wants to avenge those 5 men who died because of Gardar. But Sverkel is totally right. If you really believe that the sword makes you do this, then get rid of that sword. That sword is not attached to your body, so you can get rid of it. As much as for the crown is just on top of your head, but doesn't belong to your head. It's not part of your head. And that sword is now part of a Snake's arm, so he can definitely get rid of these. And I hope that Knuto will do the same sooner or later. But the more you get in touch with something materialistic, the harder it is to get rid of those kind of things. So let's see what's going to happen. And now I'm so curious to see. And yeah, last but not least, when Sverkel is saying, look, you can create life instead of destroying life with that sword. That's exactly what I was telling you before. When Thorfinn is looking at his hands and he knows that he destroyed with those hands lots of lives, and now he is cultivating wheat. That means he is creating life. That's something crazy that can happen to a person. This a turning point of your life when you do the exact opposite of what you were doing before, that makes you feel alive and makes you feel different, makes you feel that it's worth living. Now Snake needs to learn the same thing. You are fighting to avenge 5 men of yours, but while you avenge them, you curse yourself. it's all because of that sword. Even if that sword, yeah, I like it because it's pretty particular. Sverkel even says that it doesn't come from that place. So I want to know more about his background story, because what Askeladd is telling Thorfinn is true when he says, look at Thorfinn, he is doing what he's doing because he also have his reasons to do so. Usually we tend to see our perspective only. We should try to put ourselves in other people's position. That's always the same thing, right? We don't know Snake's reason. Maybe is it because he wants to avenge his companions, I mean his fellows? Is that it? Or is there another reason that we don't know? That's interesting. We needed to know. But for sure, Askeladd is right. Everyone has a reason to fight. And until we don't know that reason, we can't judge the person we have in front of us. And it's completely true, because even for Askeladd, we didn't know his background story. And as soon as we got in touch with it, we understood many things. We understood why Askeladd grew up in this way. Even if it was wrong, but we know what was behind that decision to become so. And even for Snake is the same, even for Thorfinn is the same, even for Anar is the same. This psychological way to describe the characters is stunning. I really like this. And yeah, we would have never expected that Askeladd would have become the counselor of Thorfinn in everything that he is doing. Even if at the beginning it might seem that he is creating a temptation on Thorfinn's mind. But what he's saying makes sense. And Thorfinn needs to use reason to understand that temptation and to step forward from it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he will do that. Okay guys, I think that I told you everything that I needed to say. Thank you so much for the support, and see you next time with episode 17 of Vinland Saga Season 2. In the meantime, thank you so much, keep subscribing to the channel and click on the notification bell. Bye guys, see you in the next video. Bye.